How's it going, everyone? Daniel here. Welcome back to the channel. So the reason for this video really is yesterday, actually, one guy, or certified it, in my opinion, he left this comment, not in my channel, not even about Klaviyo though, just about email marketing in general. And so he told that, hey guys, it's actually okay to make $1 per subscriber on your list. Let me explain that. $1 per subscriber. So if you have a list of let's say 50,000 people on your list and you're making $1 per subscriber, so you're making active subscribers. You're making $50,000 with the 50,000 list of people, of subscribers. Now, the first thing, my reaction was I wasn't pissed really because for example, in my agency, right, if a client comes with this expectation of making $1 per subscriber and I make them fivefold that, well, I exceed the expectations literally fivefold, literally 5x the expectations. And this thing basically keeps that retention for 24 months because they're actually fucking thrilled, pardon my language, over the results. Now, by the start of this video, you already pretty much know that, the only way to actually, see the beautiful face of Abraham Lincoln is by utilizing advanced segmentation, which is the actually beautiful topic of this video. Let's just dive into this. And I don't want to keep the video super long, but it's a lot to cover, trust me. So without further ado, let's just dive into this and I'll show you how to bust that myth. Let's just completely get rid of this and bust it down. All right. So the first part of this video, I'm going to be slicing it up, right? Basically breaking down everything about segmentations, what goes into this, just so that you have this a complete overview of it. Second part of this video, of this presentation, I should say, or of this implementation, is a block building. I'll tell you how to actually, what goes into this, right? If you watch my previous video about the automation stuff, I talked about really, I made this prism and really like this reference of you, like as if you're buying a GTR, if you know anything about like cars and like racing and shit, and like car building, a GTR is like that car. I mean, whatever car it is. I mean, probably only like Japanese ones, but these cars have an immense potential. So you bought a car, it has a 280 horsepower, whatever, and literally you can do so much like tune on it that on a stock pistons, on a stock cylinders, rocks, and basically the block, it can withhold immense horsepowers, right? Like for example, GTR 34, it can withstand literally like 800 horsepower on the full stock engine without like getting into this bitch. So just to like put on reference here, the same thing you do here, right? You need to know the blocks, you need to know what you have here to build off of, right? And once you have those blocks, you can now, play around with it and really build these blocks and understand and like segment people into those different parts, and like all this thing works as a freaking machine, and all you have to do really is to perform some maintenance on it and keep it well oiled. Super, I mean, it might sound like really vague and weird, but just hear me out for a second. Now, the third thing is the seamless execution, guys. Cannot stress this enough. If you don't do this thing, nothing's like dollars are not gonna come into your account, right? It's just not gonna happen. Fitting it in, basically everything about making like really beautiful and kind of like on brand, like basically on branding, and reaping the rewards. And with this fifth part, you will understand how big of a payoff this whole process actually is. So without further ado, let's start with breaking it down. Let me make it clear. Segmentation without purpose or plan, it's like building a car in a garage with with the tubes and welding shit. It doesn't work, okay? It's gonna work something like this, right? The puzzles that they just don't add up. They just don't add up, and segmentation executed poorly is even, I would say even worse than having no segmentation in place whatsoever. So these things, it's what I guess 80% of brands do, and they have it like super. I mean, they have some segmentations, but they are like more on this side, right? They just some like in the middle, right? They have a really poorly set it up, right? Set and forget it, kind of that bullshit. If you really want to like go granular on it, and if you want your email marketing produce just crazy amount of money for you, and literally would fit with you, fit your brand, and keep it alive when Facebook gets shut down, Google, something's gonna happen with the social media platforms. Google, they're like raising their prices. Email, it's a beautiful channel to have this like 30%, 40% of your revenue attributed to that, and so you can pay with your ads, you can scale your business. It's a really it's I would say the number two channel to take really seriously if you're trying to go from 6 figures to 7 figures, 8 figures, and 9 figures. Using segmentation to execute it deliberately looks something like this. When all the puzzles add up like water, right? It takes up all the shapes of whatever, the glass, the cup. It takes up the shape of everything. It's literally like the most adaptable thing on earth. How just as a coyote, right? Yeah, that's basically I call my agency. Now, segmentation doesn't work is an absolute excuse. So if you have this kind of like thinking right now, get rid of it. It actually works if you put into work. And it's not about so much about putting to work as putting a right thing into work, right? Because again, if I wanted to work hard and make money, I would just go out there in my backyard and just dig a ditch or something, right? Hardworking people not necessarily make the most amount of money. Those who make a lot of money, smart people like we are, right? And you, by watching this presentation and basically getting this knowledge downloaded from our brain right to yours. So segmentation means I'm not sure if I need to explain that, but basically for those who don't know, segmentation means using the data to store your addressable audience into groups with common characteristics that make them likely motivated by similar things. Simply put, the right message for the right audience, the $5 bill per subscriber. Is that what you want? If you following the if that's what you want, you can follow this presentation to the end. Now, data types. So there are two data types: descriptive and behavioral. So descriptive is more of like campaign kind of thing. We're not gonna cover this. I already covered this before. We're talking about here about behavioral, right? Because I'm more going to go hard a little bit on the automation side, really, just to kind of like give you some point of reference here. Now, 11x higher revenue per recipient for behavioral flows versus campaigns. That's what I'm talking about, right? So your flows to your automation actually makes 11x of what you would make for from campaigns, right? So basically like one-off thing to basically all your list. And even here, you still want to use segmentation, but here really you're only like utilizing not really only utilizing. You could go really granular with it still, right? Because for example, the basic overview would be of this would be sending by the engagement, right? 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 180 days. In my opinion, you could do a lot more than that. You can do east side, west side, right? You can do Canada. If you're just shipping to Europe, GDPR kind of emails. There are a lot of things we can do with campaigns, really. Even with segmentation, there's a lot of things, and we'll go into this a little bit later in this video. But I just want to keep this presentation in a Google Slides, within the flows and automation. Now, rule number 2, actions are king. If you're not taking them, do not expect anything to happen. I just want to just be clear here. That's just the rule, right? Now, behavioral data goes like this: interactions, purchase, and there are only actually 2 things that matter. And this is basically all the blocks that we're kind of gonna work off of to build our building blocks, which is gonna be the step 2 of this video. But yeah, basically the purchases and interactions are gonna be the driving data into those building blocks, which we're going to be talking about right now. So building blocks, there are 5 of them. These building blocks, think of them as like your Lego, right? I mean, just going back to that garage thing. This is like you're building the car, right? So the gear, this thing and that thing, the turbo and all those things, the exhaust, the wheels, the pressure, whatever it is, right? This is your car, and all you have to do is really adjust where those things need to be put in and need to be built off of. So there are 5 of them. We need to make our decisions off of recency and not recency, frequency, and the AOV, right? So basically, if somebody is purchasing recently, and somebody not purchasing recently, right? So frequently or not frequently, and how much they're spending, right? Are they spending above your AOV, right, or below your average order value? This all the blocks that we need to work off of. So there are actually 4 main categories here. So the core marketing audience, right, those who want to really send a lot. The win backs, right, those who kind of really lack on recency. Caution, those who really suck on recency and you really don't want to market to. I mean, you still can market. You can like I would say kind of like diluting them into the campaigns just not to crash your deliverability, right? So for example, if you're sending like 80% of those, 10% of the winbacks, and then I mean winbacks is pretty much all the automations now. But if you're sending 80% of those, 10% of winbacks, and then I would say even 15% winbacks, and then 5% of caution. Those guys who do not buy frequently and do not buy recently, basically lapsed customers. So you want to avoid at all costs because these guys do more harm than good. And this is the first rule of Klaviyo: do not ever blast and batch your list, because those people who are not engaged with your list are going to be included automatically by your mistake. You explicitly telling like you want to email them, and you're going to crush your deliverability. And what it means is that the right people on your list who want to see those emails or don't mind to see your emails are not going to receive them, just because these guys crush your deliverability because Gmail mark your email as a marketing email. That's what I'm talking about, marketing email. So let's talk about the first group, the core audience. 75% of your time goes here. So there are basically 6 types of people with this category. Those who buy recently, buy frequently, and buy a lot in terms of the AOV. Those are fucking whales. And these are these people that basically your brand stands on and lives off of. These people are, you never want to go stingy on them. You want to care for them. You want to cater them. These people are like a fucking, I don't know, it's a VIP club of billionaires. These guys like should be treated as gods, because you can make so much money off of them, and they're happy, you're happy, everybody's happy, right? Stripe's happy because you pay them. PayPal, never recommend using PayPal. It's bullshit. Frees up your money like for no reason. Fuck PayPal. Now, and just by the way, just so you know, it goes like this. It goes like a Z kind of like shape. So it doesn't go like this. We're thinking like this, right? So left to right, left to right, left to right. Now the second quadrant here would be people who buy recent, who buy frequent, but they don't necessarily buy the most expensive stuff off of your store. So you go here. I'll explain your goal basically a little bit later in this presentation, but just so that you know, this is the second group of our people. Now the third one would be those who buy recently, not frequently, and a low value again. Those who buy recently, not frequently, and low value. I'm not sure what. I guess like a high value would be here. Yeah, there'll be like the high value. Again, guys, everything about this quadrants I'm gonna be saying like a little bit later in the slides. This is just basically the overview of the quadrants. The fifth one would be recent, frequent, right? So they buy recently, but they buy frequently, but they really didn't buy like they maybe like a one time, like a one-off go buyer and one and done kind of buyers. And those who bought recently, not frequently, again, like one-off buyer, one-off deal, and then just kind of like dip on you, and really not like opening up your emails. So yeah, talking about the meaning of basically the meaning of those quadrants. So the first guys is a high rollers, or whale clients, like whatever you want to call it. These guys are what you have to do with them, right? You need to retain, you need to leverage. By this I mean perks. You can use exclusivity, advocacy prompts. You can do like a lot of giveaways for them. Basically, put them on your highest VIP. If you have maybe some products drops, you can put them into this like early access on-site kind of group. So just kind of like show them some appreciations for being absolute beauties. Now, brand enthusiast, right? So increase AOV. Basically, these guys, the second quadrant, right? Your goal really here is to move them to the to the first quadrant, right? These are potential whales, right? But in this case, I just call them brand enthusiasts. So your goal here is to increase your AOV, right? Because all they really lack is the AOV. Because these guys, high rollers, right? Everything is perfect and they're buying those high ticket products. Like the AOV is crazy. These guys, they buy a lot, but they buy maybe like one product there, right? They're like not spending a lot of money with you. So the way you do this is like related products, volume discounts. Those are like two that I really recommend here. Now, potential high rollers, right? So potential high rollers right here. Increase frequency, because again, guys, these guys are, again, and here would be actually high value. I would just like change that right now. Basically, this would be they'll be like the high value, and like all you have to do here is to increase their frequency, because on everything else they are qualifying completely, if you didn't notice, right? So they're recent, they buy recently, they don't really buy frequently, which you're gonna fix, and they buy, the AOV is pretty high. Now, the way you move them into frequency, you need to tease them perks and replenishment flow. So basically, if you have a brand, that sells maybe like dog sheets or dog beds, it's generally not gonna work, because the purchase frequency of buying mattresses or like dog sheets or whatever, right? It's not that frequent. But if you have like some complementary products that you need to maybe like toss in, you can basically push people into the subscription kind of thing, or replenishment, right? Basically, replenishment is like let's just say you're selling like a CBD oil, right, for your dog. So they did the dog is like, you basically use that CBD oil for the dog for 30 days, and then 30 days, boom, it's gone, right? Because it has an ability to be used up, and now you need to re-up it. And what is the first thing you need to do? You need to go on the website, right, and then repurchase that, or right, remind them ahead of time that, hey, your item is to be replenished, and you need to place a second order. Now again, high value, just like keep in mind. Now, potential enthusiasts, right? Increase AOV, because again, guys, you see like the low value, right, and they lack on frequency. And what do we need to do? Exactly, we need to increase our AOV because it's low, and we need to increase the frequency because the frequency really lacks here. And the way you do this is by rolling out the best sellers and related products. This is something that I found works the best for this group. And if you do that, you have some potential to move them basically to that quadrant, to the first one. Because again, guys, the real goal here is to move them to that first quadrant, because if you do that, like logically, it's not gonna happen 100% of the time. But if you're gonna do that, still, this guy is gonna move to the quadrant number 3. This guy is gonna move to quadrant number 3 again, or this guy's gonna move to quadrant number 4. Some of them not gonna do it, and it's okay, right? Because again, I wanted to be like a little bit realistic here, in kind of like look at the situation soberly. So the fifth quadrant here is those who like nearly theirs. I call them nearly theirs. All you need to do really is to just nudge them over the line, and the way you do this is sell the value of your company, of your brand, not the company of the brand, because if they bought something, there's a big difference between a prospect and a customer. So again, it's a little bit another topic. I'll make a video about it, but basically, these guys has already put trust in your brand. They order one product, and now all you have to do is just push them down the line, right? Kind of basically get them, hey, listen, you don't need to persuade them to buy from your company. You already done that. You've already done the heavy lifting. All you need to do is really to put them into this middle quadrant kind of thing. And this guy, once they're going to be put in this segment, right? This segment in all of your flows will move them to this one, and then from this one, and then eventually they're going to end up, in the first quadrant, right? Again, as I said, it's like a snaky figure here. The goal here is to move them to the quadrant number 1. So the way you do this is by basically selling the value, FOMOs, right? If you're missing out, and some mild discounts to push them really over the line, because again, they recently bought frequently, but they just kind of like one time off, kind of like they're just like not at that level. They don't show like enough frequency. And one waiters. So basically, one waiters is those who like purchased recently, but they purchase like one-off time. Like they like one-off buyers. And really, all you need to do is push them over the line. And specific way that I found really work, for them is to limited deals, something with a countdown, And again, guys, I'm not saying that every prospect will be, will prefer email as a channel. Some of them you need to retarget on Facebook, right, by creating custom audiences, or even YouTube. But yeah, limited offers. By this I mean countdowns on email, either on website, either on social media, or Google searches like Google, and best offers, right? So the best offer for you, maybe something that they recently bought. If you you utilizing my MCP system that I use in Coyote, is basically the MCP system that I use for my clients in my agency, and it stands for mining, segmenting, and prospecting. Not prospecting, positioning. So I'm sorry, I'm already tripping up a little bit, but yeah. So you need to mine the data, right? Gather the data. I have a video about that. Then we got MSP, right? So this segmentation, which we're talking about right now, and then positioning, basically positioning that message. And it'll like basically drawn in circles, and in the middle, right, we have that perfect face of Abraham Lincoln, as I said. And basically what I mean by that is, like, if you segment a lot, if you gather a lot of data, if you segment properly, you already know what these guys are interested in generally, and what their pinpoints are, and what product lines are they interested in, and you need to you can already offer them the best offers by knowing what they are interested in, what they looked up to, and what they bought before, right, and basically showed interest to. So you do this this way. Now the win-backs. You spend 20% of your time. Basically those this is for those customers who lapsed, right? So they kind of like bought something. So yeah, they were buying frequently, considering this quadrant, right? So they were buying frequently, they were buying a lot, but they stopped doing that for some reason, right? So they lapsed on on the recency side, right? Just going back to that 5 quadrant. See, like on the recency, they haven't bought in the last 4 months, right? So they're not recent. So they bought for like way longer than 4 months. And at 13 months, again, the reason I put like here 13 months, not 12 months, because maybe it's been a year, and what I do is I usually retarget them with the anniversary purchases. Maybe like they just purchase like one time of the year, right? Maybe this is the birthdays for someone, right? Because it's just one time of the year, and they particularly buy it one time of the year. And so, I mean, 13 months basically tell them, hey, they're not basically celebrating any birthdays. They're not celebrating any basically holidays. They generally like not interested in our brand. So we need to suspend their accounts and basically put them into that win back right here. This is again for those who was frequent, for those who are frequent, for those who are buying a lot but they lapsed. And the second quadrant here basically is for those who recently purchased. They were frequently purchasing, right, but they just did not place like enough. The AOE wasn't like that high. Now, so I mean, I guess there's a lapse here. Sorry guys, I just noticed that there's a lapse here. Apologize about that. I was just completely again, guys. This guy like in the comments just kind of completely pissed me off. I just wanted to make this video ASAP, and kind of like roll out on YouTube. But yeah, basically those who lapsed, those who were frequent but in a low value, right? So lapsed high rollers go in to win them back. I'm talking like these guys again, as I said, they were past high whales, like big whales, but they lapsed, right? So they basically got off of that. I'm not. Like, I don't know, it's like sugar kind of like thing, but they basically lapsed. And all you need to do, right, because again, as I said, they were somewhere here or even here. I mean, no, high value, right? So they were basically here. They were past whales. And I'm talking like right now, you need to win the back, like one way or another. You need to do this. Basically go all in. Just completely just give everything away, because guys, yeah, you might give like $100 off kind of like coupon or some credit for their account, but amount of money you will make in the long run will be way higher than $100 coupon or dollar off discount or incentive, whatever you call it. And again, keep in mind lapsed. And lapsed basically like lapsed enthusiasts, right? So yeah, for these guys, you want to test new improved special offers and really like higher discounts. For these guys, right, you need to test and win back strategies and really experiment away, but occasionally, not too frequently, not usually, do not like always do that. Do it occasionally, like 30% of the time. Don't go too hard on them because again, guys, these guys might hurt your deliverability. So just be a little cautious with them. But yeah, that's like what would you do for this segment particularly. Now, moving on to the third quadrant here, on the third segment, I would say, and these guys you need to spend 5 times of your time with. So these customers who are lapsed, who not frequent, but they purchased a lot. Like they purchased like a lot of time, like a lot. Like the AOV was crazy. Second was lapsed, not frequent, low value, right? Basically the same as this one, but they didn't purchase as much as these guys, and basically lapsed, but they were frequent before. So the first thing you need to do here is, I call them like a one-hit wonders. You need to win them back as possible, right? Batch test 50% of the segment. Do not batch 100% because again, you might just completely hurt your deliverability, and potentially might not reach those people who you need to reach instead. Just passing through, win them back as much as possible. Batch test 25% of the time. And for these guys, just passing through, again, win back as much as possible. Batch test 10% of the time, right? So basically 10% of the segment. All right, so the 50, cut it down by half. And then cut it down, not by the half, but basically, take 50% off and using for these guys. So, the minimum performance to expand the task, just to kind of like throw this in, for the reference. Minimum performance to expand tasks include 10% or higher open rates, right? So, if you see open rates really like in 1 digits, like do not do that, or decrease the segment percentage, right? If your subscriber rate, should be never should exceed 33%. If it does, completely cut it off. Stop the campaign or segmentation, and under 0.08 spam complaints, which is actually detrimental for your Gmail domain health. So definitely be cautious with them. And these guys, the last one, right? You want to spend 0% of your time. Literally, do not touch these guys. Suspend their account. You might retarget them, with a custom audience on Facebook, which we'll dive into this. Which we'll dive into this a little bit later on this presentation. But these guys do more harm than good. They're nothing but pain. Prevent them from damaging your reputation. Cut the dead weight and suspend their account. So basically, cut the dead weight. Those who do nothing do harm. Remember that. This is the third rule that you need to really remember that. So again, as I said, right, so the core marketing audiences, the recent, right, frequent, high value whales, recent, frequent, low value in terms of the AOV, right, potential whales, recent, not frequent, low value, you got the point, right? And then recent, not frequent, low value should be here, high value, low value, recent, frequent, recent, not frequent. You see, that's the real segmentation. This is the first, core marketing audience. Now, the win backs, lapsed, frequent, high value, lapsed, frequent, low value. I just gotta type it here again. And the cautious ones, the lapsed, not frequent, high value, lapsed, not frequent, low value, and then lapsed, frequent. This is the cautious with them. Again, as I said, 25% of the segment. 50%, 25%, 10%, and these guys 0%. Do not touch them. Like just completely just cut them off. They do nothing but harm. Now, the rule number 4. Supercharged segmentation is using your building blocks to execute with a purpose against a deliberate plan. What do I mean by that? Nothing. This is basically the rule number 4, right? Supercharged segmentation is using your building blocks to execute with a purpose and against a deliberate plan, right? All the segmentations should be in place, and I promise you, if you have them like this, completely rolled out, you'll be making a lot of dough. I promise you that. All those things, right? So the 6, right? The 8, 11, and 12, right? So the 12 segmentations, if you keep them in place, I promise you, you'll get from this $1 per subscriber to 5. No shit, like no cap here. Now, seamless execution. So we've talked about the basically the the agenda here. Now let's talk about how we're gonna execute on it. So who will be excited? That's the first question you need to ask, right? So the product category, the time period, amount spent, location, sign up source, the gender, right? We need to really know what product are they buying, what category, what time period, amount spent, location, all those things, right? Sign up source, really important one. What am I going to say? Really need to understand how you're gonna kind of base your copy off of, right? Is it gonna be offer exclusivity? Is it gonna be sell value, limited quantity, right? So there's some scarcity, right? Volume based incentive. By this I mean, kind of some like a scarcity, right? You basically running out of stocks and shit, all that thing. Time bound offer, discount, social proof. I would also put some authority maybe, and appeal for support. So let's just talk about let's just take an example. So here an example overview pretend situation, right? So the goal here is to boost revenue post holiday slump. Our strategy is launch limited edition chain for dogs, right? So basically, I'm selling chain for dogs. There's a metal ones, right? With the it's clips, and it's kind of look pretty cool, right? Just like the guy with the pit bull, the chain kind of looks aggressive, because pit bulls are that breed. They're super aggressive and super dangerous. I feel like people freak out. I don't know. Some people just get little the sense of dopamine for having that dangerous dog, which is pretty cool. Unless it's just freaking go off of the leash and just kill somebody. Now, notes: no reporting request. Held off on any discount to start, won't last, right? So we're not starting really with any discounts. We just want to try if they are actually interested. Now, who's excited? The dog owners, anyone who bought or looked at the other dog accessories. Again, as I said, the way you do this is you basically saying that thing with the Shopify and Klaviyo. And Klaviyo looks at your different categories, and if that person on your list and they looked at, if you have all the metrics set up properly, if you look at that particular category, they basically get that. If you have your browse abandonment set up properly, or also on my channel there's a video about site abandonment, pretty cool one. When they're just shopping around a collection, not particularly looking at anything. So also pretty cool one. To kind of drop them into one, and get them to decide which one they're gonna drop. Then they're gonna drop, and then browse abandonment gonna fire off. So let's say if you already chloride this person got on your site, just in terms of if you're selling dog products, right? And anyone who bought or looked at the other dog accessories. So they're just kind of searching dog accessories, not clothes, not food, and accessories. This is a very key point. And those who pitbull parents, right? Anyone who bought or looked at pitbull category. So we include those properties together from all the accounts in our Klaviyo, and we create segment off of that. Now, our channel is email only, and so here's how we're gonna do that. So special access. This is basically our kind of basically the thing that we need to roll out as our emails. Be the first to get a limited edition pitbull chain leash. Dedicated notice, limited time pitbull chain is here. Is here. Win back what you've been waiting for. Pitbull leash chain. Default promos. Chain for pitbulls plus other bestsellers. So these are our four of our emails, and let's actually see how we're gonna segment them. So the first one is special offers. So be the first to get a limited edition pitbull chain leash is our subject line, just to keep that in mind. Now, for this specific email, we use this segmentation. So everybody who opted in to email and dog or pitbull buyers or dog or pitbull browsers, right? So the browse abandonment and high rollers, right? Enthusiast, potential high rollers or potential enthusiasts. Basically, if we're going back, right, we include these guys, right? So just to go back, right? High rollers, brand enthusiasts, and then potential high rollers and potential enthusiasts. Basically, we're gonna cut out this to and below, and we basically include on this type of email, right, all these 4 quadrants right here, just because we want to like use this email basically target everybody who's super engaged and they have money, they buy recently, but they buy frequently. Basically, the top of your list. This is email for them because, again, as I said, those guys should be treated as gods. That's why we allow special access, right? Now, going down a little bit, dedicated notice, limited time, payable chain is here. Again, the segments would be here, opt-in to emails and doc or payable buyers, or doc or payable browsers, and nearly theirs and wow waiters, right? If you remember that, this is basically the bottom here, right? Again, if we go back, there will be these guys, right? So they're basically the nearly theirs, right? In the wow waiters. This is these guys. Now the win back, right? Basically, going to that yellow category would be everybody who is again in terms of our subject clients would be like, wow, you've been waiting for pivot list chain, right? This is basically the subject line for our win back segment. And in terms of segmentations here, right, opted into email and doc or payable buyers, right, or doc or payable browsers, and lapsed, high rollers or lapsed enthusiasts, right? So basically, everybody who contains that, yellow quadrant. Now, these guys, right, default promos, right, basically for those who in the red zone, sorry, not in the red zone, in the orange zone, right? These guys with caution. And their emails would basically look something like this: opt into email and high rollers, enthusiasts, potential high rollers, potential enthusiasts, or nearly theirs, or wow waiters, not in the other segments. So the reason we put them, I would just actually put them this orange zone right here. The reason we do not wanna only email them is because if you just email them, the open rate is going to be super slam, and you're actually going to crush your deliverability. As I said, all you want to do with this orange zone, you just need to dilute them, right? So as I said, if we going for them, right, if we need to kind of like batch them with all these guys, right, but to put them 50% if this is for this segment, right? So again, the reason here we do this is because we need to keep our open rates as high as possible, at least 20%, right? If it goes below 20%, they kind of interfere with these guys, right? And these guys are not getting emails, so you need to like kind of balance that out, right? So again, as I said, right, for this for the orange thing, we need to send basically the green quadrants, the yellow quadrants maybe, right? And then if we batch this again, you see, as I said, as I done here. Sorry guys, I'm just like basically jumping around, but basically, yeah. High rollers, enthusiasts, potential high rollers, potential enthusiasts, nearly theirs, and wow waiters. Basically, we include the whole freaking green segment, this channel, and we batch that, as I said right here, and I batch only 50% of this quadrant here, right? So I would include 50% of these guys and 50% of these guys, or if we touching this segment, which is actually below, we need to batch 75% of these guys and 25% of these guys. If we're touching this segment, we are batching 90%. We're sending 90% of campaigns to these guys and only 10% to this quadrant. The red zone, we're going to avoid as much as possible, 0% batch. So, hope you understand that. I know it's a little bit hard, but again, you can watch the video. It'll make sense to you. Now, define unique segments for different channels, messages, and reporting needs in that order. Right? So the channels, right? Like what do they go from, right? Is it Facebook? Is it like Instagram? Is it Snapchat? Is it YouTube? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Twitter? Is it whatever whatever it is, right? The blog, influencer, TikTok, Pinterest, whatever it is. Klaviyo, again, it's not just your regular ESP. It actually can track your it's a data gathering engine, and it can actually track where that person coming from by the URL, and you can do this within basically Klaviyo segmentation, right? So you can basically literally segment people by like where they're coming from. I mean, in terms of the pop-ups, but if you want to really like create segments off of that, you need to like gather the properties for it, right? It's all about the data enrichment. Again, I have this video on my channel, you can go watch it. But yeah, the fourth one is putting it into practice. Guys, again, guys, as I said, right, rule number, what was it, 4 or 3? No, rule number 2, actions are king, and without actions, nothing's gonna happen. So all you need to do here is you need to set the blocks, right? So set aside 2 hours and one and done, right? So basically one segment, right? Let's just say hire the core email marketing kind of thing, this one, right? Core email marketing audience. The first set of quadrants, right? The green section. You take 2 hours, you build it out, right? One and done. Do not do everything, because you're gonna be overwhelmed. I know you're busy, so just like take 2 hours, build it out. Monthly kickoff, like hour and a half, hours a month. Set the goal strategies, build a game plan. Because again, without the plan, if you don't have goals for email marketing, it's just not gonna happen. Like eventually, it's not like magic. You need to really build a plan, what you need to do. And if you don't know how to build your plan, go back, watch my video that I shared about on automation. Absolutely go granular on that one. Performance check. So hour and a half, actually less than hour and a half, hours a month. You need to review your results and optimize, do some like ID optimization, right? Kind of like just like see how is it performing. Is it like tracking properly, right? Is it actually, our numbers look good, right? Our numbers looking good at the end of the day. This is good because they are the most important ones. So can't really tell you like exactly what could go wrong, but the really trouble here is that like you might send, there could be some incongruency here, so you just really want to be careful with it, right? So if you send, for example, the high rollers this segment, right, just keep in mind that like those like, how do I say it, keep really attention on that, like those segments that do not intersect with each other, and like these guys that shouldn't be intended to get this email, basically getting this email. That's really important one, because like if there's like that incongruency there, it can mess up the whole data. And never test, because again, you also gonna be running A/B split testing. Never test more than one variable at a time, because otherwise it would be just a complete mess and absolute like lack of logic here. And yeah, create segment. Basically, you want to take less than an hour of your time, 80% conditions built, and then refine based on the plan, right? So again, it basically works as a freaking rainbow here, right? So again, as I said, set 2 hours, when and done. Hour and a half month, set goals and strategy basically for your game plan. You can go watch my video back about it. Performance check. Hour and a half a month, review your results and see how you're performing. What can you tweak a little bit, right? Maybe some copy, maybe some you may start with some dynamic kind of like blocks or something like that, because you can actually do that. So just be careful with it. Again, as I said, I'm not just trying to like kind of like brag about how I'm smart and like flexing my knowledge. Everything that I talk about right now is on my YouTube channel, so you can go watch it. I'm gonna link all these videos, basically the whole freaking playlist for flows back to back. I shot it for you, so enjoy it. Create segments. Again, I'm gonna take less than an hour at a time, less than an hour a day, and basically 80% conditions built, and then refine based on the plan, which you gotta be basically building throughout this part. So a little planning goes along the way. This is something that I want you to remember, and this is actually the rules number 6. So the best way to, again, as Amish said, right, if you want to do something, if it's something hard, just do it, and the next thing you know, you are halfway done. And guys, let's you work hard if you are actually gonna do that. If you're gonna really work hard, and you're working smart watching this video, but you still need to put into work. It's not a magic, right? You don't have to watch David Goggins and kind of like completely wording yourself out, but you need to have the right system in place and then put into work. and it's gonna be super easy because again, guys, I just like laid out everything that you need to know about it. And now, right, if you gotta do this work, expect the like correlated rewards. 55% increase in revenue per recipient when sending to a targeted segment. 55. Again, $5. It's a per subscriber. I'm talking 1 cent revenue per recipient. Those who received, people who receive your emails, will be 55% more valuable to your brand in terms of revenue. Just imagine that, 55%. So if you're making 1,000, now you're making 1,500, more than that, 1,550 from the same people. And $1,000 is like, it's not too much. It's not a lot of people to send to. If you have a decent list, literally, as I said, you could have 10,000 subscribers, because I've seen the examples. You can have 10,000 subscribers on your list, and you can make 50K off of that. 50K and 1,000 subscribers. Just imagine what you can do with 100,000 subscribers. And yeah, just like last word here, rule number 7, segmentation means better results. I cannot stress enough. I mean, I just basically show you everything. Segmentations do make you a lot of cash, racks, whatever you call it, right? Internet money. And if you use it properly, you don't have to, basically fall for that, gap with these idiots who talk about, hey, just like make $1 per subscriber and be happy. Never settle. Be always improving. Be leveling up, and keep creating this, like, the most targeted, the most like a sophisticated and really interesting journey for your subscribers with the most like a robust content, and keep your subscribers happy, keep the retention up, and make a lot of money. That was Daniel Lid, and I'll see you in the next video, where we're going to be talking about the second part of this video, because we also have to cover exactly how I'm doing this in my agency, because something that would be like better off for your, even if you never become a client of my agency, which is absolutely beautiful email marketing agency in the world, the most sophisticated, the most revenue driven and performance driven, I should say, agency, email marketing agency, Coyotes, right? So if you're interested, by the way, you can follow the link down below and schedule a call, 50-minute call. We see if you're a good fit to work with us. Just keep in mind, we have a lot of clients, so basically, waiting on the wait list. And sometimes if you just want to ask us about questions, if you're like not sure, please do not book in the call, because I'm basically gonna take you off right away. So just do not waste your time. If you want to like some consulting, maybe which I don't really do, it's you can DM me on LinkedIn, link down below as well. But yeah, if you're really serious about email marketing, if you're trying to grow that thing, you can schedule your call down below, and I will see how I can help you. But yeah, basically in this case, again, this is not how I'm actually getting the the results from my clients, because it's kind of like not professional really. It's just more for the video. Because again, I'm trying to make, when you just trying to make this educational video, I want this content to be like a little bit more digestible, and like not that like I just don't want to be like one of these guys who just flex his knowledge and kind of like shoot some bullshit and completely like leave everybody on like this like doubts what this guy were talking about. I didn't understand anything. So yeah, super digestible content, and this is something that we're gonna be covering in the next video. So definitely keep an eye on it. So guys, it was Daniel Lid, and as I said, this video is going to be the second one. This is the part 1, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.